The last one is pretty big deal. We've got Captain America: Brave New World. And this film is an interesting one. We're coming at a pivotal moment in the Marvel phases. So this one actually feels like the start of a new phase, man. Because, it's kind of interesting. I don't know if it is officially, but I feel like this last phase or the phase that we've been going through, there's not like this overarching theme that we're used to from the previous ones where there's a build up to like an Infinity War. Captain America: Brave New World is directed by Julius Ona. And in this film, Sam Wilson finds himself in the middle of an international incident after meeting the President Thaddeus Ross. He must soon discover the reason behind a nefarious global plot before the true mastermind has the entire world seeing red. And this film stars Anthony Mackie, Harrison Ford, Seth Rollins, Shira Haas, Rosa Salazar. We've also got Giancarlo Esposito, Danny Ramirez. We've also got Tim Blake Nelson, who I actually thought was Richard Belzer, but I forgot he's dead. But then we got Carl Lumbly, Shosha Rockamore, and we've also got Takehiro Hira. He played the Japanese Prime Minister. I actually liked him in this. He was cool. I hope we see more of him. And what'd you think of this?
I had mixed. I kind of went to the theater, kind of listening to some people's opinions about it. I think your original opinion included. So my expectations were somewhat mixed, but I was going to give it a shot anyway. Well, went to the theater and loved the film. Then see, I really don't know what people were expecting out of this film, but I enjoyed it. I'm kind of curious what we had before they did the reshoots on this. Overall, I for a product that was the product we got in theaters, I really enjoyed it. And I think it's a solid. Overall, it might be a solid Captain America film. I did like to where Sam doesn't have a serum, but he's been training with Isaiah Bradley. That's like one of the first people to have Captain America serum other than Steve Rogers. So he's fighting against this guy, and he's showing himself how it will probably be almost impossible for him to beat him, hand-to-hand combat. But he's been trained by somebody that has these powers, so he's a formidable opponent. Even though he doesn't have a serum and could probably get fatigued pretty, easily. He's not at the level of Steve Rogers, but he's, like I say, he's a formidable opponent right now. But I really love the effects. I loved, I did watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier series. And that's just a continuation of that, of that series. And I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too, man. Like, ultimately, I think it's a good film. There are some things you can nitpick at. And for me, it's probably going to be some of the dialogue in the script. But outside of that, I think this film told a good story. It nailed the parts that I needed to nail, which was definitely the action. Like, watching some of these sequences, man, especially that sequence in the Indian Ocean. That was just badass, bro. That reminded me of Tony Stark's and those F-22s and the first Iron Man. Like, that's how really cool that scene was. We also get the final fight. But also, there's other little stuff in there, man. And I'm watching Sam, and I'm like, man, he stole a lot of Cap's moves, man. Like it's making me think, like, is this shield just an inanimate object, or is that shield got some other stuff going on? And the way that thing is bouncing around, and I'm like, yo, this is crazy, man. It just has all the fun and feel of big action, man. The story, I don't think the story kind of felt more like a story that's tying up some loose ends as well as introducing some new elements. You know what I'm saying? Like, and man, honestly, we've been waiting for these X-Men to come in, bro. But like, I feel like, man, either one or two things is going to happen, man. Especially, with this whole adamantium thing. I think we're going to get some mutants that have been there working for a while, and then we're gonna get some new mutants too, man. If they're gonna unveil this thing, and who knows too, man. Once we get into the deeper with this Doom and this Secret Wars stuff, there's might be some X-Men that's coming away from different periods, man. We might get the original blue and yellow suits from the Kirby days. Like who knows what's gonna happen, man. But all in all, it's got me really excited for Marvel again, man. And I think some of the criticism is just what to expect these days. You're on top now, so it's kind of profitable for these outlets, for these talking heads on the internet to just start going, and because you know you can get an engagement coming at Marvel, man. And this film is getting more criticism than films that are just straight up awful, man. Like across the board. Madam Web, you know what I'm saying? They kicked it around a little bit, but there wasn't this crazy campaign to just keep digging and digging. Right? Even the reshoot stuff, I think even the reshoot stuff has been blown out of proportion, because Julius Ona just recently spoke about, like, yeah, that's been exaggerated. We did one period of additional photography, you know what I'm saying? He didn't say reshoot. So I think what's happened with this film in some ways, and I think that's why some people are complaining with the choppiness of the editing. I think stuff was added because of other stuff that's going to be happening down the line with this universe, not because there were problems with this film, you know what I'm saying? I think this stuff was wedged in to build onto this long-term story that they're doing, you know? So you know,
Corey,
that makes more sense to me than them trying to change stuff because it tested, you know, improperly, you know?
Yeah, it's some things can go some interesting ways how this film was set up, because, like, especially like Carlos Esposito's characters, he, you know, part of the Serpent Society. You don't know when the rest of these jokers are going to show up, but they pretty much established that he's a badass, and you know, I just want to see more of him in this.
I want to see more of a lot of these people, man. I want to see more Isaiah. It'd be cool if Isaiah and Fury go on an old man side quest. That'd be awesome. That'd be so. I could just imagine, bro. That'd be crazy. They might have to make that one rated R because, but
I wouldn't mind Isaiah working with Shield and kind of training some of the new, you know, because you know Shield's going to probably be back at some point. Be a part of training, you know, training some of the new recruits or whatever.
Yeah, it's wild, man. Shira Haas was an interesting choice because she's tiny, bro. She was kicking ass in this movie, so I don't know what's going to happen ultimately with her character, but I will encourage you guys to check out Unorthodox. It was streaming on Netflix, and that's the first thing I saw her in. I think she plays a woman that's kind of breaking away from a kind of a hardcore Hasidic Jewish community. So, but she was acting her ass off in that, man. That thing was crazy, bro. I don't even know. I might have got an Emmy nomination that year, but it was from 2020. So this is probably the first thing I've seen her in since then. But yeah, I even like my man Ramirez. You know, as Joaquin Torres, you know, the new Falcon, man, he's a little too eager. So that was a little goofy, man. That was probably one of my dialogue issues, because some of the banner with him, I get what they were trying to do is kind of this tropey thing. You know, the new guy is following in the shoes of you know the you know his boss, but he wants to be like his boss, is looking up to him. It's like but some of this was a little goofy. But overall, man, anybody really complaining, I think it's just nitpick city on this one, man. For the most part, I think this thing was solid.
I'll be honest with you. I was kind of picking up a lot of the hate that we were getting for the Marvels before I went to the theater and saw this. And that was another film from, you know, that Marvel kind of released that was kind of getting a lot of hate and a lot of build up on, you know, is Marvel still good, or, you know, or just being trying to start a controversy about something before it was really released.
So one of the complaints is, you know, he doesn't have the powers, and I'm like, honestly, man, I'm glad that he doesn't have powers right now. Sure, I would like to see him doing stuff that Steve Rogers does, but we're not making another Steve Rogers, man. And the fact that people don't realize the Captain, he's more of a symbol, man. You know what I'm saying? Even the stuff that they're setting up in this film with him button heads with Ross, shout out to Harrison Ford, man. He kills his Ross, man. I love Ross so much in this, and
Yeah.
there's some really cool scenes with him and Sam and other characters, and it really, these people they like that were getting mad at Mackey's statement. He had it right, 100% right. He had it right. This is what this character has always been
Yeah.
about. He stands for the ideal America. Not he's not the extension of whatever. He's not a puppet for America. He's one of the first that goes against the, like if you look at Civil War, you know what I'm saying? He was like, no, Sokovia Accords. What is this? Nah,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah. Yeah.
we're not with this. And they're reflected in his actions, in that film. It's funny, man, because I get home after I watch this and Civil War is on the TV, and I'm looking at seeing when Rhodey falls out of the sky. I'm like, yeah, this is your fault, Tony, man. You went along with this bullshit off the start without even thinking about nothing.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
like, yeah, let's go. But I understand though, man. They've been really clever at setting up motivation. So I really can't fault Tony. He had a traumatic response to what happened in Nigeria. You know what I'm saying? And that it makes sense, man. And I love it. So for us to have this guy without this serum, I think it's going to make this even
He's
more
proven
interesting.
himself.
And,
he has proven himself.
And he's going to be ultimately more heroic, in the
Yeah.
process as this thing plays out. And like, at first I was kind of worried, but I'm like, the way the thing is set up, like we can't go back. Maybe there's some decisions. People argue that we shouldn't have killed some characters. Maybe we should have just recast them with other actors so we can keep this content. But no, I like this puzzle. It's like now you got to write yourself out of this now. And I want to see how they address that challenge and how they've been doing it so far. I like it. Sam's going to be leading the Avengers at some point.
Yeah.
And that's going to be crazy, dude. Like, I mean, you look at Justice League, Batman is technically the leader over there. You know what I'm saying? You might say Superman or Wonder Woman. No, Batman's the guy with no powers is really pulling the strings of this whole, making it work. With stuff hits the fan. Man.
One of the things I did notice is like he's throwing the shield and it's coming back to him and stuff, and he's getting used to the shield. But he don't sling it like how Steve Rogers or Bucky can sling it. It's just the difference between them.
They've got more velocity, I feel like.
Oh yeah.
They're doing some crazy
They swing
stuff.
it like they swinging a frisbee compared to he's put a little health to it, and it's working for him. But it ain't like how Steve will just Steve would just sling it. It seemed like it was an extension of him, and then when Bucky would use it, it's just an extension of Bucky. But he was good with it.
He hasn't had as much time with it as well, though. You can see that too. So that's a thing that's got to come into play. Speaking of Bucky, man, I just saw. I forgot to mention that, man. I'll bring it to the next episode. We'll bring it up. But I watched A Different Man. And that was a really good film. Because what's the guy's name? That plays Bucky?
Sebastian Stan.
Yeah, Sebastian Stan, he's really good in that, dude, man. Like Bucky's a role. He don't got a lot of words. I think he's going to change that with this Thunderbolts coming out. Seems like he's got more dialogue coming. But that dude is good, bro. Like that's a good ass movie. I don't know if you've seen that yet, man. But it's definitely.
I have a screener for it. I was going to check it out.
But yeah, for Captain America, man, Brave New World, I think it lives up to the title, bro. This is brave new territory. Coming into this, man. To like I said, man, like. We've got the new leader, of whatever's coming, man. And he's going to be a guy without powers, with a lot of heart, that's compelled to do the right thing, at all costs, man. And I think that's most important. And they made a good case for this character. So I think since this film did so well at the box office, I think we probably pushing about maybe 200 million opening weekend. I don't think they added on the Monday's results yet, but without the Monday stuff, I think it was at 180 or 190 worldwide, with like 90 million domestic. This is a hit, So I hope they fast track a sequel, bro, because I want to see Sam Wilson's Winter Soldier movie. That's what I want to see. That's what I want. We got the exposition out the way. I want to see it.
But he's going to be leading the Avengers in the next couple Avengers films, so. That's gonna be interesting. My one of the things that I think is cool is I like the new uniform compared to what we had in the Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
I like that cap suit, but the newest one we have in this show is much more much better.
It's weird because there's a change because he starts off with the suit that looks more like the
shoulder pad
from the show.
Yeah,
and then he switches. I think that was Steve's suit. It looked like
no, it was a different suit. Yeah,
okay, but it's more colored like Steve's suit, with some alterations. But it was interesting. But I did see in real life, Mackie said he was not going to put the cowl on again from the show because he said that thing was ungodly to wear, like it was hot, it was sweaty, and he said the goggles fogged up. So I think that's why they switched to this kind of the nanotech, that pops on that helmet, when he's flying and stuff. So it's cool, man. And honestly, I don't know what's going on. We haven't seen no updates on this. We're getting updates on everything else, but that Wakanda series, I think, is going to have some lot of action, bro. Especially with the things in this film have kind of changed Wakanda's position and things, I think, a little bit, and it's going to be interesting to see what's going on because I feel like now Wakanda's going to be kind of that extension of the universe that's more espionage focused, more political, quiet, black ops kind of things.
But if I'm right, this film is supposed to be in the past. I mean, the Wakanda, Oz of Wakanda is going to be like set in the past.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not current.